Hey, my friend, it's Melanie Ferguson, your host of Creatives on Fire, the podcast where I hope to inspire you to create a profitable six-figure following online. So turn it up and listen in to amazing stories of success, along with behind-the-scenes secrets and valuable tips from, you guessed it, Creatives on Fire. Hey, my sweet friend, Melanie here. I have a couple of questions for you. I want to ask you if you are struggling at all with overwhelm, feeling like you need to be in a million places, not having enough time. Maybe you struggle with feeling like you're not good enough. Or who am I? Who am I to be sharing this with my audience? That imposter syndrome that a lot of us struggle with. What about just knowing what the next step is you should take in your business? Does any of this resonate with you? If so, I'd love to invite you to Creatives on Fire Insiders. This is an amazing group of creatives who are finding success and growing their businesses together. It's designed to stop the overwhelm, to build your confidence, and to guide you through the next steps you should take in your business. A lot of our focus inside is on video and live video specifically, how to get good at it, how to really capitalize on the time that we spend in our businesses. If this sounds like anything that interests you, come spend some time with us, because let's face it, who you spend your time with matters. Check us out at creativesonfireinsiders.com. We'll see you there. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. This week, I have the amazing opportunity to introduce you all to Christy Bissell. She is the mastermind behind the Pickled Rose, which is a blog as well as all over social media. And we're going to focus today on her Instagram account that she has grown so amazingly. Christy, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Melanie, for having me. I'm so excited to talk with all of your followers.
Yes. So what did I miss? I know I missed some things on introducing you. So is there anything you'd like to add?
I think you covered it. Instagram is definitely where I spend the majority of my focus. I do have a blog at thepickledrose.com if anybody wants to join me over there. But you can find me pretty much on Facebook, Instagram. I'm pretty new at TikTok, but you will find me over there. So yeah, come join along.
I love it. So let's dive right in. Let's just find out how you got where you are today. I know it looked totally different at one point. So what worked best for you to get that first 100,000 followers?
I wish I had a magic answer, Melanie, because it is something that I have really worked at. It's taken me about 5 years to get to my 170,000 followers. But I think the most important thing, and I think most Instagrammers, influencers will agree with me, that the key to growing your online presence is consistency. Find your audience and engage 100%. Even when you're not posting new content, it is so important to engage with other people that have similar content. I think the thing for me is find your tribe. I call it my vibe tribe. And we all have similar interests. That's why we're on Instagram. And if you find your tribe to kind of be your cheerleader, that's going to help you grow in every way.
I love that. So find your tribe. Your tribe is your vibe. You have a
That's
vibe
right.
tribe.
You have a vibe tribe.
So when you were first getting started, what did you do? You just reached out to people larger accounts than you or similar, or didn't matter?
I did. After I had been on Instagram for about a year, and when I started, I will say it was purely a hobby. I had a full-time job that I had had for over 20 years, and I was doing this just kind of as a creative outlet. And I connected with 7 or 8 other girls. We all had very similar following at the time, and I actually reached out to start a group, kind of a share group, accounts that I really liked on Instagram. We were all situated in different parts of the country. One of the gals in our group was even situated outside of the country. And we just connected and we clicked. And we started chatting daily and we started sharing each other's accounts. And we just formed such an incredible bond. And we actually started a yearly girls trip. We get together every year now. We choose somebody's hometown and we go and visit. And it's just been amazing. They are your cheerleaders, like I said, and they just help keep you motivated. Your vibe will change, I think, over the years. Some people maybe drop out. It's not their full-time job. And so they just don't have the time anymore. And you might grab somebody else and bring it into your group. So you just kind of evolve and change over the years. But don't be afraid to reach out. Even reach out to that account that's got 500,000 followers. If you love them, reach out to them, let you know you love them. And it never hurts to ask to be a part of a group that they could be in with you.
I love that. And that's what was going to be my question. And you answered it was, did everybody grow at the same pace in the group, or did some people drop out? And you mentioned that it's an ebb and flow. And so good to know. Good to know. So
it really is an ebb and flow. And we kind of all, the first couple of years, we kind of all grew together. We got to 20, 30, 40,000 followers, kind of all together. And then we had some girls in the group that had young families and they just didn't have the time to put into it, or they had other full-time jobs and they just couldn't do it. So I think there are two of us now that actually do social media as our full-time job, and the others, it's still just kind of a hobby. They're still there to cheer us on, and we still get together every year, but not everybody is as involved as they used to be.
Awesome. Good to know. So, Christy, when you were just starting, when you were with this group and you were still a hobby, was there a point where you knew this was going to become a bigger thing than just a hobby?
You know, I think I finally realized it was going to be a bigger thing when companies started taking notice. And for me, that was at about 10,000 followers. I had a company reach out for my very first collaboration, and they wanted to send me product for post, which was great at the time. I couldn't believe that a company wanted to send me, in fact, it was some bedding, and it was some really nice bedding, nicer than I had ever had before. And I said, absolutely, of course. And so you work out the details, you kind of negotiate the details on how many posts you will do for them. And it just kind of grows from there. Other companies start to take notice. And probably about 3 years ago is when I quit my full-time job and just decided I'm going to make my passion my job, and I'm going to do this full-time and put 110% into it. And that's how it's kind of evolved.
So it was about 2 years in, I'm guessing, that you had grown to the point where you were starting to get these collaboration offers and could see a potential in the future of this hobby that you had.
Absolutely. It was about 2 years into it. And then I'm just about at the end of my second year. I've got an agent that reached out to me, and she is awesome. And she works with me now, and she deals with all of my company collaborations. She does all of the negotiations for me, and it just makes it so much easier. So now I can just concentrate and focus on content that I'm creating, and she does all of the business side of it. And that is awesome.
It is awesome. It sounds amazing. So
Yes.
there are, just to make clear for all of the listeners here that are maybe newbies that could see the potential, and maybe it sounds a little overwhelming. There are agencies out there that can take care of all of the contractual obligations and deadlines and just keep you on track and letting you do the thing that you're the best at or you enjoy the most, which is the creation. I love that.
Absolutely. And one thing I will say to your listeners is you don't even have to have 100,000 followers to start working with companies. If you love their product and you have a passion for it, you can design a concept and present it to a company. I always say, don't be afraid to approach a company, even before maybe you have somebody working for you or with you. reach out to those companies that you really, really want to work with. Start sharing them in your stories and start commenting on their posts daily. And they're going to see, hey, this person does really like our product. Maybe we should give them a chance and work with them and let them integrate our product into their content.
And Christy, at what point did you stop, or do you still take product only collaborations?
My agent would tell me, no, never, never do that. But I love to support small businesses, and sometimes small businesses don't have the budget to pay you. And I have worked with some small businesses over and over, year after year, and I love their products so much. I will absolutely take product for posting because I think it's important to get small business names out there and to get the word out there. And so there are times when, yes, I absolutely will accept product.
That's a great reminder, is these small business owners need the chance too. And
Absolutely.
If you love it, it's going to be a natural fit. So why not?
Absolutely. And it gives them exposure, and it just kind of humanizes you if you just support those businesses and let people know, I like to use these products also, and not just the big name products.
So tell us really quickly about this. How I first saw you was this amazing collaboration that you have weekly over on your Instagram account with a company that sponsors you to do a craft. I think that it's so amazing. Tell us a little bit about that.
So it is awesome when you actually get to do what you love and a company will sponsor you every week. And so what we did was negotiate several months with the company. And it's a coffee company. I'll mention it. It's called Mocha Master. And what's really interesting is that I had their coffee maker even before we signed this contract with them. I love it. I was a user and a lover of their product beforehand. And so we actually reached out to them. When I say we, my branding agency and I, we reached out to them and provided them with a plan of what we would like to do is to do a segment or an episode each week and have them sponsor our posts each week. And it's just been really, really great. We've had a lot of really great response with it. And so my goal in the future is to do more sponsored episodes or more sponsored posts from here on out.
Awesome. So that's an ongoing commitment that she's made with a company that just gets a little shout out at the beginning and the end of her actual IGTV video. Is that right? Is it a reel or a video?
It usually turns out to be a video. I don't think they have any requirements, but it's usually a longer segment because I'll do a craft each week. And so it usually does turn out to be an IGTV.
That is awesome. So let's back up again and talk about when you were growing. So when you were growing your audience, did you have a weekly, workflow, or how did that look when you got up in the morning? Were you just all IG, or did you ever put it down, or did you have a specific way you handled your business?
I think it's changed and evolved over the last few years. You kind of learn and grow. You watch other people and what they're doing. You go to conferences and you just kind of learn to get into a routine. I will say I'm not the best at organizing and I'm not the best at routines. I've got friends who literally have an editorial board where they have Mondays, they will shoot their content. Tuesdays, maybe they will create content for the next week. Wednesdays, they will do blog posts. I wish I could say I was that organized. I'm getting better, but I'm not quite that organized yet. But consistency is key. If you can have a schedule set every week of what you're going to do, it just makes everything flow easier for you. Your listeners or your followers, they know what to expect from you. And that seems to work out really, really great.
So do you ever schedule a post, or do you manually post everything, or have you always?
I manually post everything. I've never used, I know there's a lot of apps out there that will do your post scheduling for you. And with Instagram, I've never not done that. I don't know if you've heard of, I'm sure you have, Melanie, the Power Hour. But if you're online, you kind of know what that is. And once you post something on Instagram, when you post content, it's really, really important to stay engaged for that first hour. You want to make, you want to comment, you want to answer any questions that somebody might have on that post, and you want to comment and engage with all of your followers for at least an hour after each post. And that really helps get your engagement up. It lets your followers know that you are there, you are a real person. And I just feel like once you start getting into scheduling your posts or having somebody do it for you, maybe you lose a little bit of that personal touch. So I like to manually do it myself. I will say, if you're going to do this for a full-time job, you really have to look at it as a full-time job. You may not get up in the morning and get dressed like you're going to work, but people will say they will spend 8-10 hours a day. And it's not just taking photographs. There's so much more than just taking the photographs. It's behind the scenes. It's planning the content, figuring out your collaborations, and working with companies and finding new content and new businesses that you want to work with. So it really is a full-time job.
Amen, sister.
Yes.
So I know back when you first started, there probably weren't even stories. That makes us sound really old, but
yes, you're right. You're
but
right.
in the day we are now, what do you recommend someone that's new as far as posting goes? Like, should they be in stories every day, and should they do reels at all? And what does all that look like?
Absolutely. You need to be in stories. I think people tend to watch stories more, and you can probably attest to this too, than they do just sit there and scroll. I feel like people want the entertainment. They want to see a DIY or a style of a room. If you're styling a vignette or something, they want to see that, not necessarily live, but recorded. They want to know how you do it. And so they're just more drawn in with a video. Instagram is always coming out with new features. And I wish I knew the answers to Instagram. I wish I knew how to play the game, and I don't, other than you should always take advantage of every new feature that Instagram comes out with. They do that for a reason, because they want you to try them out. And I don't want to say they reward you for doing that, but I feel like if you do stories, or if you do IGTV, any kind of video like that, Instagram loves that, and they're more likely to show your content. The more often your face is out there and your followers can see you, I think the more they'll come back day after day to see what you're up to.
I agree. And so when you were climbing those couple of years up
Yes.
to the 100,000 followers and plus, did you have any easy wins? Like, were there any viral posts or videos that happened that just shot you up several thousand followers?
I think for me, I've had a couple, and if you can get shared by a big company, obviously that gives you so much exposure. If you can get shared by a big magazine, I'm a home decor account, so we always strive to want to be shared by, Better Homes and Gardens or Country Living or Country Home, any of those great big magazines. That is great exposure, and that has happened to me a couple of times. I got the fortunate experience to be a part of a book with Liz Marie Galvan, and she shared me, and I gained, I think, 10,000 followers in just a few hours. So somebody really big that people, just absolutely love. If you can get shared by somebody like that, that it's just a game changer. It really is.
Awesome. So if you were just starting out, how would you approach, say, a magazine that you wanted to see if you could get into?
Don't be afraid to write. If you look in the magazine, in the front, it'll say about the editor. And at the bottom, there's always an email for the editor. There's an email usually for different departments of the magazine. Possibly even now they have social media email. I know there are some magazines that encourage you to send in photos. If you have something that you think they would be interested in, send in your photo, approach them and say, hey, I have this really great idea I think would be a great fit for your magazine. Do remember that they usually photograph their magazines a year before they come out. And so don't send them something for Christmas in November and hope that it's going to be in the magazine for that year. You might say, I've got a great photo for Christmas that maybe you would want to consider for next year. But don't be afraid to approach the magazine. You're not always going to get a yes. In fact, you'll probably get more no's than a yes. I know I do, but occasionally you're going to get that one yes that's going to open a door and make a huge difference.
That is truer words never been spoken. Always go for no, because one day you'll get a yes.
Go for no. Absolutely. And that could change everything.
It really, really could. So, Christy, how do you stay focused? How do you stay on track and be consistent?
Some days it's really hard, especially working from home. It's easy to get distracted. Now, I don't have children at home anymore. My kids are grown and they're out of the house. So I don't have kids that I'm juggling back and forth to school. There are so many amazing full-time influencers out there that do, and I don't know how they do that. I give them all of the credit because I have dogs and it's hard for me just with my dogs. But I think the main thing, you just have to stay fresh and stay focused. But your followers want to see real life also. Obviously, Instagram, those little squares on Instagram is probably not what our house looks like 99% of the time. And I think Instagram wants to know, your followers want to know that you are just like them. There's laundry that needs to be done. There's dishes that need to be done, and things like that. And so they don't always want to see perfect. And it's okay if you're not organized. Show them your real life and just say, hey, I'm not feeling it today, but I'm still here, and that might be a good time to just share what's going on in real life in your house.
And you would do that in your stories?
Absolutely. In stories. Yes, I would definitely do that in my stories.
Let's keep our feed pretty.
Right. Exactly. Now, some people share them on their feed and they get great response. So maybe I'll try that in my messy bedroom or something like that.
So how important is the feed aesthetic? Is it important for brand?
Yes, I think it is really important. You want your feed to look consistent. I always say the most important thing is to do what you love. Make your feed look like what you love and not what you think Instagram loves. I used to kind of adhere to what I thought Instagram wanted me to post, and it just wasn't working for me. Or if it was working for me, I just didn't like it. And I just started doing what I love to do and posting what I love to post, and just stay true and consistent to yourself. Keep your feed consistent. And I think that works great.
So, Christy, what advice would you give your former self back when you had only about 1,000 followers?
I would say don't give up. If you love doing this, it's hard work. It's definitely more than 8 hours a day. But if you love it, you can do it. I like to be a cheerleader for everybody. It's not a competition. I think there's enough success for everybody. And I don't think we should ever be intimidated if we don't think our house is not big enough, or if we're not young enough anymore, like me. There's always going to be somebody younger than I am. But it's okay because there's enough success for everybody. And if you just stay true and consistent with yourself, and I would have told myself, it's fine. Just keep plugging away, do what you love, and those people are going to stick around and follow you.
Gotcha. And what motivates Christy?
Coffee.
I love it. Coffee from the Mocha Master.
Coffee from the Mocha Master. That's right. I tell you what, that Vibe Tribe, having that group of girls, and you might have more than one group, but having that group of women, or sometimes women and men, there's some great men decor influencers out there that I love following. If you're not feeling it one day, get with your group and just say, hey, I need a kick in the pants. I need some motivation. What can you do to give me some good words of encouragement today? And that's what those girls are for. That's what friends are for.
That is fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Christy, for dropping all of this knowledge on us. Tell us where we can find you again on social media.
You can find me at Instagram at The Pickled Rose, and also on my blog at thepickledrose.com, and Facebook at The Pickled Rose also.
Thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you
amazing.
So much, Melanie. Oh, I'm so happy to sit here and talk with you. Thank you so much for the invite.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, my friend, for listening to the podcast. I'm blessed every single time you come back and listen to an episode. It's especially amazing when you share it with others on social media. So be sure to follow Creatives on Fire online. Listen, if you have not already done so, I want you to go ahead and download the 5 ideas I personally used to explode my online audience growth to a 6-figure following. You can find that at creativesonfirepodcast.com. I appreciate you, and until next time, stay inspired.